Hi everyone, so I'm going to do today a diamond shaped gift bag, and this was done by Mixed Up Crafts. That's why I saw it and I just really liked it, so I thought we'll have a go at making it. So I've used the Twilight Wishes for this one, and then basically you open it up and you get that nice inside. So it's not actually that bad to make, so we're going to give it a whirl. Okay, so let's get started. Right, so to make this box you will need 2 pieces of base card, and these measure 8 1/4 by 11 inches. I'm using Papermill Direct Slate Grey card, which is a nice weight card. So if you get your scorer out, take one piece, and along the 8 1/4 edge you're going to score at 1 1/8 and at 7 1/8. Okay, and then you're going to turn it and you're going to score at 6 1/2. Okay, so you can do the same on the other piece. So you're going to score at 1 1/8 and at 7 1/8. Turn it round and score at 6 1/2. Okay. Next, you will need 4 pieces that are 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. Okay. Now on each of these pieces, you want to put them in. If you put them in diagonally, now I've got it because this is my halfway line on my scorer. I'm going to go 2 ridges to number 5. So I'm going to put my corner into number 5, and then at the bottom here, 1, 2 ridges, and I know that's number 5. And then you're going to score diagonally down. Obviously, if you're just using a cork board and a ruler, that's it, easier. But it's quite nice to use these because then the next score line you can do easier on a scoreboard. So you've done your middle line, so that's halfway diagonally down the middle. Then you're going to come over 1/2 inch, so to 5. So I've obviously started at 5, 5 1/2, 1/2 inch later, and you're going to score down there. We're going to cut this line in a minute, but it just helps to score it first so you can see. So you can do that on 2 pieces. So you've got 4 pieces in total. So you can do that with 2 pieces, and then with the other 2 pieces, you're going to score it the other way. So that instead of going from right hand corner to left hand corner, you go from left hand top to bottom hand right, you go from right hand top to bottom hand left. Okay, so you do that on the other 2, so you'll end up with that. Right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your base pieces and the 6 1/2 line that you scored, you're just going to cut the top and the bottom bit. So you're just going to cut up to the first line, and then from the top line up again. So notice I lifted the blade then. So you're just literally cutting where the tab is. You're not cutting through the middle, you're just cutting that first bit up to that first score line, and the same there. So we're going to do the same on the other piece. Okay, so that's that one done as well. Okay, so that's that. Next you need some mat layers. Now your mat layers need to be 5 3/4 by 6 1/4, and then your pattern to go on the top needs to be 5 1/2 by 6. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. You need 2 mats and 2 patterns, because these are going to go on this piece here and on this piece here. So we're going to go ahead now and stick the mats to the patterns. So that's your 2 mat and pattern layers for your top part of your box. Put those to one side. Now you then need 2 pieces of mat that are 5 3/4 by 4 1/2, they're going to go this way around, and 2 pattern pieces that are 5.5 by 4 inches. Now, I forgot to mention that this beautiful card that you can hopefully see, it's all shimmery, is the Papermill Direct non-shed silver glitter card, and it is gorgeous. Sometimes you get non-shed glitter cards, and they're not very sparkly, not very glittery, but this one really is. I don't know how well you can see that sparkle, but this is just, it's beautiful, and it's nice to know that you're not going to end up with glitter coming off everywhere, because there's literally no shed. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and stick these down, the patterns to the mats. Okay, so those are those 2 done. So now if we bring back our panels, so you need to take your panel and have it so that your 6.5 line is at the bottom. So you've got the smaller panel is at the bottom and the bigger panel is at the top. And what you're going to do is you're going to stick this one onto the top, and this one is going to stick onto the bottom. And obviously you've got your score line in the middle. So you can do that on both of your pieces. Okay, so there we have our 2 front panels. So now what you're going to do, if you go ahead and fold and burnish all your lines, obviously you can do this before you stick your panels down if you wish. I just find it easier to stick panels down on a flat piece of card than on a creased piece of card. Right, so next you need some either strong adhesive or red tape. I'm going to use red tape, I've got the thick stuff. And you need to get 2 squares of it and just put them in on the corners of your flaps. Just in that, you'll see in a minute where I put it. Just put it just in the corners there, because what we're going to do next is we're going to peel the backing off. We're going to pull that round and stick that down to make that L shape. Okay, and we'll do the same on this side. So make sure you put your tape on the same side of each one. So I've put mine on the short one for both ones. And make sure you get a really good L shape. So that needs to be pretty much a right angle. Okay, that needs to, well, it does need to be a right angle, not pretty much. You need to get that as accurate as you possibly can, because it will matter in a bit when we get to put the triangles on the sides. So you're going to do the same thing on the other piece. Okay, so there's your 2 pieces. So they in a minute are going to go like that, and then when it closes, they're going to go like that in a minute, and then when it closes you're going to get that shape. Now don't worry about this, because we're going to deal with that in a minute. Okay, so just put these to one side for the moment. So next you want to go to your triangle pieces, the ones that you've gone and scored halfway, and what we're going to do is you're going to fold down the middle score line, and then you're just going to cut down that second score line. So this is what I mean. So you've got your card and you've got your central score line, and you're going to cut down that second score line, the one that's 1/2 inch off to one side. keep these triangles because you're going to need those afterwards. You can use those to cover up inside so that you don't see tabs and things, so just keep those triangles. So you're going to do that with all 4 of your pieces that you've got the triangle scored on. You're going to do that with all 4. So then when you've done that, you should end up with 4 triangles. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold along that score line and burnish them. So you should end up with 2 going one way and 2 going the other way. Once you've done that, take one of your L pieces, I'm going to call these L pieces, your main body of your bag. Take a triangle that corresponds and you're going to lay that on, just lay that on for now, like that. And you see where the excess flap that you've got here, you need to cut that off. So what I tend to do is do a pencil line and just cut that off. Okay. So you end up with that. So then this, you pull this bit out, it will happily sit on there and your tab will go over the edge. Okay. So once you've cut that section there, you can go ahead and do all the others. Don't stick them on yet. So once you've cut down both your tabs, when you put them together, they fit nicely together. Okay, so now if you want to put those to one side, now we're going to move on to decorating the triangles. So decorating these. So what you want to do is you need 2 matte layers that are 6 by 4. Okay, 2 matte layers that are 6 by 4 and 2 pattern layers that are 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now what you want to do is take one of them, and as you can see on the back, I've already put tape, and I drew a line going from one corner to the other corner. On the other piece, I've done the same, but I've done the line going the opposite direction. Okay, now hopefully you can see the tape. So this one I'm going to cut that way, and this one I'm going to cut that way. It's very important that you do opposites, and you need to do exactly the same with your pattern pieces. So you need to cut one going one diagonal and the other one going the other diagonal. Okay, so I'm going to go away now and cut those. Right, so I've cut all my patterns and my mats, so I'm going to go ahead and stick them all down. Okay, so when you've got your 4 triangles, you can go ahead and stick them on the outside of your mat piece, your plain pieces, your card bases. Okay, so there you have, you've got all your 4 triangles. So now you want to go back to your bases, okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick these 2 pieces together first, and then we're going to stick the triangles onto these side sections here. So to stick the 2 bases together, you need a little hinge that is 2 inches by 6 inches, and you're just going to score it down the middle so that you end up with a hinge like that. And you're going to put tape on both sides of here, red tape. You do need to use red tape. Because it's a box, you want it to be nice and secure. And then you're going to stick one side onto here and the other side onto there to connect the 2 together. So if you line up your crease of your hinge with the cut edge of this short side, not the long side, the short side. Excuse me if my head gets in the way, but I do need to get this straight. So like that. And then we're going to take the backing off here and stick it onto this side here. Now you just need to make sure that they're well lined up with each other. So I'm going to get that second piece, and it's the short side. I'm going to butt it right up against there, and then when I'm happy with it, I'm going to fold that over and stick that down. And that then makes your box bit stick together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick these onto there. So you should end up with that, so that will go together, so that forms the body of your box. Right, so now you've done your main body of your box and you've put that together, you can put that to one side, and your base card for your flap is 3.5 by 6, and the mat for it is 5 3/4 by 2 3/4, and the pattern is 5.5 by 2.5, and I've just rounded the 2 corners so it nicely fits together on your flap. So what you want to do with this, once you've rounded the 2 edges, you then want to score at 1/2 inch in and just score that down, because that's going to become your tab. So we're going to fold that and burnish that, and then we're just going to put some tape on there, and then we're going to go ahead and stick down the mat and the pattern. Right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to take the backing off of the red tape, bring our box back in, and we're going to stick this just inside that edge there. Okay, so that is the basis of our box done. So now we're just going to finish it off by adding, I'm going to put some pieces inside, and I'm also going to put those leftover triangles inside here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. The inside pieces are, so they're the same as the matte layers that you used on the outside. So you need 2 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 6. So they're going to go in there and in here. And then you've got 2 base pieces, and they measure 5 3/4 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those into the base. So there you have your box with your inside pieces in it, and now we just need to go ahead, and again this is optional, but I don't really like what you can see inside, so I'm going to go ahead and stick these triangles in as well. Right, so I finished doing the inside, so as you can see it's a lot neater inside. So all we need to do now is sort out the closure and sort out the handle. So for the handle, I'm going to use a belt punch, and I'm going to use a sort of a slightly thicker one. I think probably I'm going to use the biggest one because the ribbon I've got is quite thick. For the ribbon I chose before, because it was a thinner ribbon, I've used quite a thin hole, but I think for this one we're going to need to go, actually let's go that one, we need to go a bit thicker. So I'm just going to go in, and I'm literally going to take it in as far as I can take it, and I'm going to punch a hole in that halfway along that crease line. So if you can see there, I've literally done it along the crease line, and I've done it as far in as my punch will take it. I'm going to do the same on this side, like that. So I've now got 2 holes, and then I'm going to go ahead and thread the ribbon through. So there's our handle sorted out, and then with the closure You can either use a Velcro dot, or if you've got some very strong magnets that aren't like I have here. So what I've done is, I know that they stick together like that, so because of that, when you open them up, I've just put 2 dots on the 2 sides that want to stick together. Okay, so what we're going to do, so I know I've got a dot there and a dot there, so they're the sides that are going to stick together. I'm going to put one on the inside, and I've measured halfway, 6 inches, and then I've measured down a couple of inches, or where you want your closure to be. So I've measured down, and I've done the same on the top here. So I know that there's a tiny little mark on this flap, so I know where it is. So I'm now going to glue the magnet into place. So there you can see that there. Now I'm going to do the same on this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm then going to close it up, because the glue will obviously be held in place by the fact there's magnets, the magnets are sticking together. So I'm going to do that now. So that just wants to stick there because it's found the other magnet. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and then when that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and stick the little bow on the front. Okay, and so there's your bag finished. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a go. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.